I do have a fun case study that I sort of teased. I think it was last week or something like that, but I also, I don't know if I shared it with everybody, but today we're going to be going over some of the results of it. And the results of it is actually, really good in terms of the little efficiency that we had with this account and the little, I guess, ability to make good creative. We didn't really have a lot of creative capabilities, only due to the fact that the previous team that we had to get rid of when I took over, and I've been interviewing for new creative teams. I did find two. We'll see which one wins. If anybody's looking for a creative agency, basically I just went and built a scope and brief. Actually, I didn't. The people did for me. And then agencies reach out. So I've already talked to BMG 360. I've talked to Primer. I talked to Fat Earth Media tomorrow. And then these people basically, they were within budget, but looking through them, I wasn't too happy with all of the details that I saw. So these two here are basically my front runners, but I mean, it took maybe like a week and I already talked to two of them. They're within budget. Their portfolio looks nice and their theories and sound. And when I spoke to them, they were like, hey, it's great to talk to an agency that doesn't just look at ROAS. I'm like, yeah, I agree. And so it was good. It was basically, a really nice, smooth process. But that's who I'm waiting for while I do this, which is this test here. This test here is something that only started on the 25th. And so it hasn't really been that long. Now we did scale up a bit. We scaled up I'm still engagement, do performance and clicks. So we scaled up our ad spend quite a bit during this time period. We went from like basically 3,500 to 15K. Now we were spending 15K previously.
Wait, that's a lot. Hold on. So you've 5x the budget is what is that what I'm seeing right now?
Yeah, basically in the last 6 days, I went from $3,500 and spend to 16K. So I went up 345%, or I added like 12 grand to it. Now it sounds scary, but if you look at like May entirely, they already spent like 80 and 70 G's, like April and May. So when you look at June as a whole, compared to the previous period, we're actually down 50%. So we were spending 68. I said, hey, cut all spend. So they basically just took this thing and then just hacked it off to nothing. So they basically dropped that from 62K down to 0. And then we just had basically this leftover spend. And I launched a new one. So we're actually saving 50% inside of, well, actually, you know what? Let me do one thing. Let me do this. Let me do a month to date. I'm curious if that actually has changed. Okay, so let's do this, because I think we'll do like a 2-week period, because maybe that'll be a little bit better. Because I want to get a good test going, but I also don't want the metrics to be like skewed better or worse. So let's just do this here. So this is the back end. This is the 1st through 24th. June 1st through June 24th, down 21% in gross volume. MRR, monthly recurring revenue, is down 11%. New customers are down 40%. And then spend per new customer is down 15%. And then new subscribers down 50%. That was even spending 75% more. So it was, and this was the old campaign here that was spending, that we basically just kind of had a hack off, and we started with this new one. Now this new one here started on the 25th. And the 25th, we've spent $12,000 more. We're still 50% down for the month, but we basically went and spent nothing, and then we're ramping up a new one. So you're just seeing the ramp up of the new one. What's nice about this, though, is basically since the 25th to the 30th, everything is kind of flipped up. Gross volume went up 33%. The MRR is still flat because it goes off of subscribers, but we do have 66% more new customers. The net volume of sales is up 90%. And the AOV per new customer is up 58%.
Wow.
So It's nice is we basically just launched this thing, and now we're starting to see like definitely these, like even the 28th and 29th. What's nice about this is if you look at top line revenue, I wish I had this built out, but it only goes to the 25th because that's the date that the person that builds this report went on vacation. This was day one, the 25th. And that was when we launched this thing here, was essentially the 25th. This was day one. Now that day one, we went from 0 sales, 2 sales, 2 sales, 2 sales, 7. Went from like 4,600, 7 grand, -5, +5, 13. This 7 sales at 13 is not technically the best day because we had one here, but it is the best from AOV because these are returning kind of sales and returning customer discounts. These were all new, and that's why the AOV is higher. Gotcha. So on day one, I noticed that, which was basically here. If we look at just day one compared to the previous period, this day one was 81% more gross volume, 75% more new customers, 129% more net volume, and 41% higher AOV per customer because they're not the discounted cheap customers that they were before, or returning sales. So that was the indicator I saw there. It was actually the best day of the month, was my first day, not by volume, but by quality of user and AOV. And then what's nice is this is actually even the last couple of days here. If we look at like the 29th and 30th, the gross volume is up another 27%. The new customers are still flat, but that's only because it's only noon your time. But the spend per new customer, now we're at 45% up. So because we're not like doing email and discounting and begging people to come back and buy something else or take another course or that kind of stuff, it's all just coming organically. But the thing that I thought was interesting is we are taking one campaign with 17 ad sets. Each ad set has an ad in there. So it's only one ad per ad set. So 17 ads. And those 17 ads have $200 per day each. So what's nice is we started to track some conversions. I think yesterday is when the first ones actually started to come in. And it does make sense. It's like there's a purchase there and there's a purchase there. Now, nothing's spending higher or lower, and everything is essentially just last click or last view. That's a low frequency. That's a high frequency. The conversion tracking kind of doesn't matter. It's just going to be like a spaghetti against the wall or a dartboard about where these conversions are just going to land, when they land.
Question on that. So what's the AOV again on this?
3,500.
Okay, gotcha. Wow.
Yep.
You're already seeing a lift that early. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's what we were actually kind of surprised. Is what's nice is the new customers up basically 25. So at 66%, we have 25 new customers since the 25th. And if we look at the spend of this campaign, basically we spent 15,775. So we have, 15,775 divided by 25 new customers. It's $631 NCAC, but that's still like a 7x return.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's why we're seeing the top line, the net volume going up 100% basically. So it's like, hey, now you made 43 grand. We're like, oh, good. Like we only spent 15. So that's a 3x top line already. So NCAC is at a 5x and then NMR is at a 3x. And this is only the first 5 days.
Interesting point. And I think I get your logic as to why you did it for this account specifically. Mm-hmm. So, and correct me if I'm wrong. I'm gonna totally guess here. I could get this completely wrong, but my mind, it makes sense logically. So if you have an expensive product that's in this scenario, like $3,500, right? That was the AOV, 3,500.
Yep.
So if that's the case, people are going to have a longer decision, right? They're going to think about it longer. They're going to try to figure out, okay, is this the product for me? I'm going to research it. Do I want to spend this amount of money? Is it really actually getting the results that I want it to get? XYZ kind of thing. And obviously in your scenario, you would say that, part of the people that are converting are people that have probably already heard of the brand as well too. It's not just like from this day forward, they're converting. However, the efficiency increased wherever part of the journey they're at with this structure. I wonder if, so the reason why I think that this structure makes a lot of sense in this scenario is because it's a higher AOV product, which means the decision or the lag time to make a decision is going to be really long, which means that diversifying the message is more important than beating them on the head with the same message again and again and again and again.
Right.
But if this were for a lower AOV product, then you could catch people early on, and then Andromeda would just sort of spread out instead of hit the same user with all the different messaging. Was that kind of the thought process?
It's and to keep it keep it so that not only like the 3 videos or 2 videos get all the spend. So if we look at this right here, if I just sort descending by hook rate, spend is even across the board, 900 here, 900 there. Like it's all 900s. But if you look at the hook rate, you got 45, 45, 42. This one says 23, but it's actually 30. Then this one says 19, but it's actually 27.
Why is that?
This one is not deduped. So these are all users. The one that you go inside the chart, this one is unique.
Okay.
So what they don't
Got
do
it.
is they don't show the same hook rate for old users. This one shows a hook rate only for new users. But the problem is you have to do it by the simple calculation of the video views of 3 seconds divided by impressions. The problem is you can't say also
It's not
dedupe
unique.
the users. Yeah. So
Okay.
these users just kind of like so this was 23. So that one went down to 23. This one here is at 22, and then this one should be lower at 21, right? So if we have, so basically these here, I now have 6 ads that normally maybe 2 or maybe 3 of them would have sucked up all the spend. So we would have, had the no degree careers and the what, why, and maybe the math, but we don't have the what, why, the shock. We don't have UGC. We don't have trust. We don't have anything else. Now this is just lipstick on a pig because these old ads, we basically took old ads and spliced them together. But this is a 53% hook rate with a 12% hold rate. This one here, see how she comes in and from the side of the camera. Watch this. Actually, let me just do this because this ad here, this is what's really funny, is going through. Sorry, I'm just gonna wait for the interface to catch up with me. Go to April and go to this time period here. No campaign, no ads.
I'm making a post in the school group, by the way, at the same time. Because that is very important. That hook rate difference is very important.
Yep. This one, the old ad, hook rate 90%, 35. So like these hook rates are insane. The hold rates are really, really good.
90%? I've never seen that before.
Yeah, dude, 90% hook rate, 35% hold rate. This is when we were getting like a ton of the website view contents. So it was just showing to everybody that was watching ads because the conversions were so frequent. This ad here on website purchase, same ad, 52%. Went from 90 down to 52% just by changing the conversion event.
That's so weird. Do you think the reason why that's happening is because of bots or like low quality traffic?
Yeah, because our sales sucked with high hook rate, but also that was a different ad, but the same intro. So it was kind of weird. It was it's definitely different. As soon as we recut an ad and use it again, it could be our best performing ad and also now have the top line actually make sense. But it wasn't the ad. It was how many ads are also running alongside of it. So hook rate at 90% fail, hook rate at 50% counting conversions when it was only the only ad running fail. That ad now it tied together with all of the other ads. Yeah, now it's performing great. Like great, click the rate is 7%, CPC is 25 cents, unique click the rate's 1.5. It's 50% higher than our average, 44% hook rate. But the one that we did that we basically just kind of recut is we have a different first scene and our second scene is different. And then our third scene different. Then our fourth scene is different. So we basically spliced together a ton of UGC together to make a new video. And because the hook was still good on the beginning, now the messaging is way better. It's not just, we're not going into a demo. We have UGC next to UGC, then UGC, then UGC, then UGC, but is telling a story. Up at the top, it's like healthcare was hiring this whole time. I just found out. And then 0 healthcare background, no degree, less than $2,000, job ready in 6 months. And so I finally landed my first job. So now it basically is like this thing tells a story with a bunch of other UGC together. And now this thing makes sense alongside of all of the other ads. And that's why our top line sales day one went from 2 to 7, which I stopped at 25 once that's done. But then it kept going to now I have 90% higher volume. So I'm 3Xing the top line. My NCAC is a 5X NCAC. My AOV for new customer went up 60%. And all I did was run multiple ads alongside of each other so that you see, oh, this, then this, then this, then this, then this, then this, then now you're seeing all the other ads. Hey, if you like this video, we have a school community where we have a few hundred members and we cover topics, everything from the basics to all the way to the like hyper crazy advanced stuff that's like coming out next month. So a few hundred members there. We go live twice a week, something with an hour-long education about something that is very relevant to the community that week, plus a weekly Q&A where you just get to come and bring us all of your problems and we solve them one at a time.
So I have a link below in the description if you want to join. And then obviously if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and we can answer those for you. And we'll see you in there.